folks, Old Man Grognard back again for another episode, and today I want to talk about monsters and encounters. Now, I've shown you pretty much the books I use for monsters and things. I'm kind of partial to undead, only because they're kind of low maintenance and they've got some really nice abilities. But that's neither here nor there. Let's talk about building an encounter. Okay, there are several ways to do it. People talk about balance. I'm not talking about balancing an encounter. Well, I kind of am, but I think of it as building an encounter because, some encounters are supposed to be not balanced because the characters can get in over their heads, and sometimes the only wise choice is to run away. And I know that players don't always make wise choice, but well, then they end up rolling up more characters. So let me talk about balancing encounters. I'll kind of give you an overview of how the Dungeons and Dragons books do it, because this is mainly about D&D, but you can apply it to any game, I guess. I just don't know how to balance anything like, say, Traveler or anything like that. And Champions, that's a whole other headache. It's kind of worth it, but anyway. First of all, the Rules Cyclopedia. Let's talk about basic D&D. Rules Cyclopedia has some advice on balancing encounters. It sounds a little unwieldy, but it's kind of doable. It goes something like this. You determine the TPL, which is a total party level. Real easy. You got 5 5th level characters. That's 25 levels right there. Okay, then you have to figure the individual adjusted hit dice of monsters. Now, to find the individual adjusted hit dice, you do this. You take the creature's hit dice and special abilities. This is where basic D&D I like, because all the monsters, if they have special abilities, next to their hit dice they have asterisks, and that means something. Because if they have any additions to their hit dice, they would divide additional hit points by 5, round up, and the result is the number of hit dice. So if a creature with 4 plus 3 hit dice, that's 5 hit dice. If you subtract from the hit dice, then you subtract a half hit die per 2 points. So if a creature has 1 minus 1, it's a half hit die creature. Okay. Then you take the half of the original hit dice and add it with each power bonus. This is where the asterisks come in, because each asterisk next to the monster's name, that's half their hit points right there, added into the hit points. If you deal with NPC parties, they have a whole system on, like, you add a power bonus, which is half the hit dice for each party has a +2 weapon or better. There's spellcasters in the party, da 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 da. That's like if you're running a bunch of brigands or something like that. And then you determine the challenge. They do have a chart on here where a challenge percentage table, where you combine the individual adjusted hit dice of the monsters and you divide it by the total party level of the players, and you usually come up with a percentage, like 0.3 or 0.5 or something like that. And it's a fraction, so you apply it into the challenge percentile table, and you come up with anything from 10% to 100%. Then you go over the encounter challenge table, and you figure out, okay, challenge level, it goes from extremely dangerous to too easy, and it just goes by the percentage that way. And that's pretty much how you do it. You can do that in reverse too, so you can figure out, oh, I've got 6 orcs in the cave here. How are my players going to hold up to that? And you can do some quick math anyway. That's that's too much. I mean, I give them points, for coming up with something, and it could have been a lot more complex. But I would rather look at the total party level of the party, plus the hit die or hit dice or hit dice of monster or monsters. If you have like a bunch of them, say you have 2 giant spiders instead of 1, you got to combine them together. And then I look at the asterisks, and I just have this gut feeling about special abilities that it's going to be like half again as hard for the players to deal with. So to me, it's more of a art than a science, but I do give them credit for coming up with something like that. One thing that bothers me about monsters in D&D, since they got into the like first and second edition, is saving throws. First edition, I know it's in the book somewhere where they talk about monster saving throws. I found out where they talk about monster poison saving throws. But as far as that goes, I had to go to the second edition to find out what that was all about. And it says here that monsters also use the saving throw table of the players. They do not find their saving throw numbers by group and level. They do it because they have neither. So they save versus poison and magic equal to their hit dice, and most monsters do that for all 5 saving throws. They said creatures with no intelligence, they save at the level of half their number of hit dice, and most monsters use the warrior group. In other words, fighters. So use the fighter saving throw for most of them. Sometimes there's some special ones like, I don't know, beholders and brain lashers, and my Corey's favorite, Grell, who have some little, they got a little more junk in the trunk, you might say. And so you might use, say, if it's a goblin shaman, you might use the cleric's table. Cleric saving throws, something like that, which is all cool and well and good. In basic, once again, touting basic, we have monsters in here, and it comes right out and says, save as, which is nice, because all I have to do is look up, okay, orcs, for instance, they save as, attacks number, alignment, hit dice, they save as fighter, F5, that's fifth level fighter. Yep, that's right. I'm sorry, F1, first level fighter. So they'll save as a first level fighter. Boom, there I go. Very easy. So you can vary. Most of them, like I said, are fighter here, but some of them who have magical powers or something like that, like say dragons, they might save on a different chart. They'll save on a different chart. They might save on the wizard's chart or something like that. Something to their advantage. So that's what I like about this. And as far as, this is one of the reasons why I like basic D&D is the fact that you can jot down some notes and go. Unlike third edition, where you have to figure out all the stats for everything, and I don't know why. But in this, like I said, I've got a monster sheet. One of these days I'll show it to you on the show. But this is all I need. Hit dice / hit points. In other words, 5 hit dice. All right, I'll roll 5d8 and find out what the hit points are. Say I have a group of 8 goblins. I'll just boom, 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 boom. Hit dice / hit points, armor class, Thaco, I do use Thaco, damage, and saves. And under damage, you can do, like if it's a claw bite, you go 1d4, 1d4, 1d6, //. If you have any notes, if you can write them down, onto the side, something like that, like say it's trolls. Okay, trolls regenerate at such and such a rate, that kind of thing, and you just go with it. This is why I like dealing with basic D&D. It's a one and done. You're going. Boom. I could have a whole bunch of kids or a whole bunch of players right here saying, we want to play D&D. I've got some. Even if I have to run, like, say, the Holmes dungeon or the Mensa dungeon, I've got that copied out. And I've got, the monsters. Okay, boom, 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 no problem. Okay, let's go. You're walking down a path one day towards a tavern, and you see a group of et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That kind of thing. That's what I love about this game. It's so boom. Anyway, that's my view on monsters and monster encounters or any kind of encounter, to tell you the truth. I know it gets in NPCs, it gets a little more involved, but we'll talk about NPCs another day. In the meantime, hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.